So get on your hiking gear because we're going on an adventure to find the lost city of Pokemon. Pokemon has been around for a long, long time. I mean, I remember playing the Game Boy games on a Game Boy Pocket black and white, red and blue version in 1998 when it was released in America. I'm dating myself here. But they released in Japan in 1996. These games were fantastic. They were so well developed for their time on a little cartridge. There was so much information, so much that they actually had to cut quite a bit of content, like 70-something Pokemon from the game in order to have it released, which is why we have 151 and not. So with these things removed, they had to create things like Missing No, which was a placeholder, but I'll get to that in another video. Today we are talking about one thing that was uncut, unfinished from the game is very mysterious. Make sure you watch until the end where I talk about truth, that Mew was going to be under the truck. And that is why that truck is there next to Sand. It was going to happen. It just didn't. And that's how the rumors all started. So without further ado, let's get into this video. So there was so much unused content, like these unused Pokemon that were cut from the original games, and then later on down the road, at some point, they were formed into other Pokemon. There's Pokemon like this Deer Sprite that could very well have been turned into Antler in Gen 2. There's alternate versions of Pokemon that we see today that were originally supposed to be in the final game in 1986. However, there was just not enough room. They had to cut all that stuff off. I mean, those little cartridges aren't going to hold that much information. It can hold a lot, but it's not going to hold information, especially back in that. Now, one thing I was looking at also was the original Pokemon Adventures manga was released in 1997, which means the game was fully developed in 1996 and released with the 151 Pokemon that we know of, including Mew being programmed into the game, although you couldn't catch it. But if this was released in 1987, the game was released in 1986. So one thing that's interesting is the Game Boy game came out in 1996. The manga came out in 1997. The anime came out in 1988. So the manga came out after the games, and the manga is based off the games, where the anime is just based its own storyline, which I find pretty interesting. Obviously Ash has some resemblance to Red, but very different storyline. You see Mew in the first chapter of this manga, and Team Rocket tries to fight you and kidnap you, and it goes more deep into the story about the mutation of Mewtwo and how Mewtwo was created. And it's pretty decent because a lot of times, most of the time us Americans, people in the States, we played the games, we knew about the mutation, we knew Mewtwo was created, a clone from Mew, but we don't get that much of a backstory. And the anime doesn't really explain it. Well, this does. And it's insane. So if you're a Pokemon fan and you haven't seen this, read this, definitely go out and check it out. It's a great manga to read. With that being said, with all these unused things like these sprites from the original game, all this great content, there was one thing that was supposed to be in the final game that wasn't. And that is this. Here is an original map, a basic map, just squares to show, the routes that you would take, but there is an extra island. If you look, this is Vermilion, and this is Cerulean. We have Vermilion right down the water, where the SS Anne is, and they are soon up here. But there's an island in between, in that little cove there. And there's a route going to it. But this was never put in the game. So I therefore call it the Lost City of Pokemon, because the city was supposed to be there but wasn't there. But could it still be there? The theory is that this island was supposed to be the route that you would take from the SSN, because it's always weird how you go on the SSN, get cut, walk off, you have a ticket, and the boat just drives away. Was it supposed to not drive away with you leaving it? Maybe it was supposed to be programmed to drive away with you on it, and instead of sinking like it does in the anime, you were supposed to go to an island and then use that again to go back up. So like a new route, instead of walking around, through a cave, a rock tunnel, whatever, just an easier, quicker route to go around. But obviously this was scrapped, possibly due to constraints on the cartridge. Who knows? But there's lots of theories on like what this island actually could have been. In the anime, we see them go on a vacation island. It's the vacation island. You take a cruise ship to a vacation island. So this was planned way before the anime came out. If it's the same island, it was planned way ahead of time. But why did they include it in the games? And why didn't they include it in this? And also, if you look at the visual concept of it, you can actually look at the sprites. And this is where I said you need to pay attention. So me, being such a huge Pokemon fan, I decided to go into the game and try to find this island. I wanted to go on an adventure and find the lost island Pokemon. So I did a few things, went down to SSN, and walked over to the truck. You can see the truck is there. That is the whole nother theory about Mew being on a truck that I'm going to get to in a minute. The mysterious truck that rumors spread like crazy as a kid. Either way, I walked around the whole SSN harbor, and there's no way out. The boat can't actually leave. And if you try to walk out of the boundary, the game crashes. So I can't follow the SSN route to this mysterious island. So let's go up onto shore and walk somewhere off of Vermilion City to find this lost city, this lost island. So I wander off Vermilion City into the ocean to try to find this island, and it doesn't work. The game breaks, the game crashes. Every time I try to find it, going from one place to the next, the game crashes. I even went to Seafoam Island and tried to walk north. The game crashes. Everything around where the island is crashes the game. So there's just a giant black hole in the programming of where this island is supposed to be. The developers are hiding something. So as a kid back in 1998, well, I'm really dating myself, I used to play Pokemon Red and Blue when it first came. And I had this book. And that is where this actually came in from. I can't believe I actually still have this. Funny thing is, Mew's not even on there. Either way, so I had this book, and it tells you how to do the missing no glitch, which I'll get to another time. It tells you how to do the missing no glitch, and I could have sworn it talked about Mew under the truck. So I found the book online, and it doesn't. So where did I hear this glitch? Where did I hear this rumor about Mew hiding under this truck? Everybody knew about it. Everybody talked about it. Everybody said, "Oh, don't go in the SSN yet. Make sure you get cut, and you have to blah 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 blah. Get surf and strength and all those other rumors about using strength on the truck, moving it to find Mew." And I tried all this stuff. It never worked. And then people always said you had to do this and that, and it always added to the rumor that you had to catch all 150 Pokemon before you could catch Mew. You had to do this. You had to make sure you had this. You had to have this, and they just would change the story. And that's basically what it is. It's just a rumor. And when one thing didn't work, people said, "Oh, well, that's because you didn't do this." Back in 1998, we really didn't have internet. So how did these things spread? And just, however, why is the truck there in the first place? Developers just threw a random truck that you can't even see when you first walk onto SSN. You physically have to go off the ramp using surf or cheats to see the truck. Developers there put it there on purpose because there's no other vehicles in the game. We don't ever see any other trucks in the game. No other cars. We have bicycles and boats. That's about it. So why is the truck there? Well, if you look at the original concept for original map and you zoom in, you can actually see sprites on the island of the basic concept of like placement wise of these sprites. And lo and behold, on the lost city of Pokemon, there is a truck. The same truck that is by the SSN. This lost vacation island, this beautiful tropical place, has the same truck. So Mew was going to be under that truck in this tropical island, and you were going to be able to catch Mew in this tropical island probably at some point. So I would say you go to the island, blah blah blah, this and that. There's a Pokemon Center there, you do stuff, maybe a little side quest thing, and then you leave, get all the rest of the 8 badges, go to the Pokemon League, defeat the Elite Four, become the champion, and then just like when you go back to go to Cerulean City to go to the cave to catch Mewtwo, you can then go back to the island and do something with the truck to reveal Mew. And it's funny, I was just playing Pokemon Yellow Legacy, and the developers of that game added in this. I just thought it was kind of funny because the whole Ditto is a failed Mewtwo experiment. It just kind of made me chuckle. Either way, the truck was supposed to have Mew under it, just not in that spot. Developers left the truck in there because they were planning maybe to do something with it and planning to move it on, but they just didn't have the time or the constraints because, like I said, those small cartridges back in the day couldn't hold a lot of information. Technology wasn't the same as it was back then. Nowadays we have SD cards that are like a terabyte big. So let me know your thoughts down below about this lost city of Pokemon. Are we ever going to be able to find it? Is it the same vacation place that Ash, Misty, and Brock go to in the anime? And as a kid, did you ever fall for the Mew under the truck rumor? What were some things that you were told about how to accomplish this? With that being said, hit the subscribe button, and while you're down there, check out my Patreon page to help me with the YouTube ad rate fluctuations, as well as, with that being said, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, help me out with the YouTube algorithm, as well as check out my Patreon page to help me with the fluctuation rate of YouTube ads. Any help, any support, much appreciated. I'll see you guys next time. Before we go, make sure you check out that video and that video right there, and I'll see you guys next time. I also do other videos besides Pokemon, such as Harry Potter, Star Wars, One Piece, Disney. So go check out the rest of my channel for other great content.